Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you just joining this channel, well, we do a little bit of everything. We do DIY, we do machining, we do automotive, pinball. But today's video, yes folks, I am actually showing you an actual application of this thing being used. Today we're cutting up a bunch of scrap to go in the scrap bin. We got to cut down, and that saw is going to be used. We got some 1/4 inch wall stuff, 3/16 wall stuff. If you haven't seen the previous video that I did on this thing, actually cutting up to 7/8 steel, I'll link it up here. But today, I'm gonna show you an actual application to use this thing in, aside from cutting thin panels. This stuff is meant for thick stuff, so let's get it. All right, the first thing we got to come up on the chopping blocks, we got some 3.5 inch 1/4 wall round tubing. As you can tell, this thing has a pretty massive bend in it, so we're just going to cut this right here at the bend area. You see me make this first pass. Now, I have the saw set to as deep as it'll go. We get through the first way, flip it over, come from the other side here. We're going to make another pass. Now, sure, there are multiple ways of cutting things, but I have found this saw to be extremely handy and helpful. And very easy. I mean, I'm making all these cuts one-handedly, not having it jump around. It just is a very balanced saw. Now, you do have to be careful because the blade will get pinched sometimes if you're not careful, which you just did there. Not a big issue. And here we stand up for the last and final cut. Of course, this was the harder part to cut with it being bent there, but there you go. Now we jump over to some, I think this was 7-inch C channel. This was a frame that we had sitting in the yard for a while. It was off a press that had gotten bent. We ended up rebuilding for a customer, so we're just going to cut this thing up. As you see, I'm coming from this top side, getting this first flange cut. And flip over to the other side, get it cut. This is roughly, I think, 3/16 thick. And all this is real time. None of this has been sped up or slowed down, anything of that nature. This is actual cut time we have going here. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a cut going down on this side because, well, it's easy to get to. The other side wasn't so easy where I made the cut initially. Alright, now unbury this thing. Yes, that loader arm was in the way, so I got this thing pulled out. And we're going to bring it over here to the scrap bin. Here we go with this cut here. This blade is the same blade that I did the test on with the 7/8. I haven't changed the blade at all. Still the original blade from that test going to 7/8, 3/4, all that stuff. So this blade has definitely been put to use. You see me there fiddle-farting around trying to get that thing lined back up. But there we go. Now, I don't want this thing falling on me, so we'll get it cut to about that point. And I'm going to cut this last little bit off right here. Alright, on to the other side. Now, I'm only going to cut this first side here. I've already got the front side that you see there cut. I'm only cutting this back side. And then I'm going to move this thing over because I didn't want this thing falling on me as I'm working on it, cutting this off. I was kind of worried about that, so I got it moved over by the dumpster. And here we go with this cut. And got the blade hung right there, but got it right off of there. And now we're on to some 4-inch 1/4 wall square tubing. Another bent post. And you just work this one around all 4 sides to get it cut. I said the saw is very well balanced. I mean, you see me one-handedly doing all this stuff, and it's lightweight. It really is a great all-around saw. If you do any sort of projects at all that are cutting metal, whether it be thick or thin, I mean, this saw is absolutely amazing. And I believe they have wood blades for it, but, you know, I'm using it all on the steel. Steel, aluminum, it has been fabulous. Get this cut going here. And then the last little bit to get cut off. Now, keeping this video a little bit short, but I wanted to show you guys an actual application. So we've been filling up the dumpster here, and you can see, I mean, this is 4-inch quarter wall square tubing, no issue cut. We've got 3.5-inch, that's not the end I cut, it's the other end. 3.5-inch round tubing, quarter wall, no problem. We've got this big C-channel cut. This is actually, I think, only 3/16. It may be quarter, actually. It's been cut, both sides of it. This saw, man, I'm telling you, I'm not sponsored by them by any means, and this is not paid for, but that is the best dang saw you can buy. If you're doing any sort of fabrication at all, fabricating, cutting, anything, even if it's thin stuff, that saw is freaking fabulous. You gotta check it out. I'll put a link down in the description. Guys, gotta get your own. Check out the other video that we did. But that's going to do it for this one. We'll catch you next time.